Hi, I'm Brendan, and welcome to Personality Epistemology. So, part of what I'm doing here is I'm sharing my experience with self development and figuring out life in the context of a very complicated, long arc, personal and multi person story live. So, or live when I'm recording this, or as I'm recording it, and also not live in terms of past videos on this channel and elsewhere. So, I want to talk in this video about Broken Bridge, the TV trope. And this is often from video games, but it certainly is metaphorically applicable to real life. Basically, this is an obstacle that prevents you from progressing. And I mean, it's not an adventure town, but it prevents you from advancing the plot further. Once this plot advancement has occurred, the bridge is fixed. Named for one of the most common methods, a bridge that is out or fallen in a video game. This is often a method of railroading, as it allows game designers or game managers or game masters of tabletop games to follow a specific path until the plot has reached the desired outcomes or points. So, like I'm spinning. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's like week to week, month to month, 2 weeks to 2 weeks, getting paid, triaging out the money, and not able to keep up with costs, and not able to borrow more, and I think millions of Americans alone are experiencing similar. And then many people are in a state of disconnection from other people, like not having friends they can call on in the case of problems, or if they do, it's like networks of people who are in similar sort of circumstances, and then depending on how much income and money and lack of responsibilities to spend it in certain ways that people have, there's retirement, the mythical the thing of retirement. Like, I could not imagine to even have a penny for retirement. And I saw a YouTube video where an economist with a degree in economics was like, "Oh, I don't know how I'll pay for my retirement." And so, let alone people doing gig economy and so on. So, or for that matter, adjunct instruction at colleges, like it's moving more and more to where people are often barely making enough to pay the bills and all this stuff. And then, okay, so this, like globally, nationally, and so on, this needs a remedy, and it's amping up to worse and worse problems for more and more people. And then it's like the politics of, oh, everything's fine, and the politics of let's tear it all down. But then meanwhile, how to actually transform how things work into better? And the answers exist. Like, I see them all the time on YouTube. I've found them, I've collected them, I can share them. But then even just establishing the story context is complicated. And so I'm in a position of having almost no views, and then, okay, so I can cold email people who have some of the answers, like lots of different people in academia, people on YouTube, all this stuff. But then this runs into, I can either share a bunch of these like overwhelming layouts, or I can try to ask questions, or suggest collaboration with what people are doing. But then it's like tons of other people are emailing anyone who has a lot of audience, or otherwise contacting. And then I've anticipated this as a challenge of, if I did become a YouTube producer and have a big audience about whatever, then okay, then I'm gonna have all these people commenting and emailing me, and like, okay, so but then meanwhile, I mean, I've known pretty specifically for over a decade the type of thing that's on its way with this work triage money catastrophe thing, debt, national debt, and all. Regardless of the national debt, I mean, even if that keeps getting paid, it's the actual situations of people are messed up. And then school continues to march people through 8,000 hours of life irrelevant stuff for the most part. And then people are fighting over hardly the essential problem or core problem with education. So, and then there's plenty of people doing alternatives, but then this is not a familiar thing. And then when people have psychological distress as a result of this, it largely gets pulled into any of a number of different paradigms, whether it's mental health or spirituality or self-improvement or life as story even. Often without delving into these other angles, it's challenging to work through the different pieces, and especially epistemology. Epistemology in particular, it's like figuring out concepts and words to name it to tame it, but then taming it, it's like you can name everything and tame it all down, in my experience, to understandable, but then it's like still messed up. So it's like maybe some more nuances are needed. So thoughts welcome. Maybe I can step through some of the videos that have pieces of the answers and go from there. Comments, requests, suggestions, feedback welcome. And I know I need to also end up producing videos that people will share. It's like probably 1 in 1,000 people will follow these videos and get a lot out of them. And then if they share them, no one they know will be able to follow them. I mean, it's like, but it's like these things need studying. It's like the different components need to be understood and considered in juxtaposition with each other, and then this becomes overwhelming or boring depending on where people are coming from. Anyway, I mean, I don't want to fall into too much cynicism and stuff. The point here is to transform and figure out answers, and it is possible to figure things out and transform things for the better. And anyway, feedback welcome. Feel free to like. I mean, I would normally say, I want to say feel free to like or dislike, but then if you get a bunch of dislikes, it will mess up the algorithm. So that kind of, I don't know. And subscribe and all of that. And watch my past videos on this channel, and more soon.